let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
Good morning and welcome to the Believes Crypto Show. My name is Believes. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world, and the state of the crypto world is spooky ooky, brah, because we're still seeing that downward sort of pressure. However, where the silver linings are starting to form up. Now, if you follow me for any length of time, you know we're not scared at all. Okay, Justin Sun got his tokens. He's fine. He got his. He's fine now. So what is going on is this. Experts are now predicting that Sun is the biggest play. And the reason that they're doing that is because of Hyperliquid and because of Aster and because of the importance of these decentralized exchanges. And Sun is the biggest decentralized exchange on the TRON ecosystem. Justin Sun continues to insinuate himself into the Donald Trump conversation. He continues to insinuate himself into all kinds of different conversations about which is the best blockchain. Now, for those of you that don't remember, TRON was originally set up as a media blockchain. So if you were trying to stream, TRON was your best bet. If you wanted to make music, TRON was your best bet. That was the idea and the premise behind TRON. Now, in the meantime, Justin Sun has put a lot of his own capital, and there is a lot of money sitting in that TRON ecosystem right now, and that creates value. And if Justin Sun is capable of getting some kind of deal, some kind of something with the Trump administration or anybody else like that, then that would be a game changer. Now, I told you guys months ago that it was my opinion that TRON was going to be the jewel or one of the jewels of this upcoming altcoin season, bull run, whatever you want to call it. There's going to be a dilution. I think we should at least recognize that not every crypto is going to take off, but the ones that will, and I think TRON is one of them, they are going to have an absolutely crazy run. Okay. So, before we get into it, let's make sure that we point and laugh. Oh, God. You little crybaby liberal. Hey, man, I support your decision. Okay, what you and your husband do, that's up to you, boo. You do what you do. Treat him good, baby. Treat him good. You know what I mean? You know. Pretend he's Donnie. You know what I mean? Do you ever call him Donnie? Do you ever be like Donnie, you're awesome. Like Donnie. Why is Melania standing over there? You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what happens, but I'm just assuming based on insider reports and the lack of intelligence in the administration. Don't take Tylenol. Don't take Tylenol because, something might happen. You know what I mean? It's a little weird. By the way, did you know that the biggest cause of autism in America is old men banging young girls and getting them pregnant? And it's not actually Tylenol. That does not mean, by the way, that Tylenol could not represent a problem. You might be able to find a direct link. So when that came out yesterday, at first I laughed because I said, oh my God, now we're going after medicine. Guess what? We need to go after medicine. So once I thought about it for 2 seconds, I was like, you know what? I don't have a problem with this at all. Is it accurate? And I don't know if it is or not. I know that there's fringe science that says that there is. And by the way, fringe science is still science. The earth being round was fringe science until it became accepted science, until the dum-dums. The one who 1 + 1 is 94. You know what I'm saying? Because of the ice mountains, the the water doesn't fall off because of ice. You know what I mean? Those people, those people were the norm for a long time. We used to be the center of the universe until we found out that we weren't. And that was fringe science that found that. So don't dismiss fringe science just because you don't agree with it. Look for the mathematics in it and then decide for yourself. I've long said this. For any of you who are, not smart enough to understand anything about physics, okay? And by the way, it's a pain in the ass sometimes. Comprehension, it's one of those things. So anyway, if you don't understand why, if you put anything in a vacuum and you cause it to spin, why does it become ovoid in shape? You know what I'm saying? Why does it always become a circle or circular? Why does that happen? If you don't understand the mechanics of it, that's understandable. Here's where I get into a concern. If I'm debating, say, Faltron, a flat earther, if I'm debating somebody who's a flat earther, right? I can't even prove that the earth is spinning because they're not smart enough to have gone to school long enough to absolutely grasp it. Their problem is, so we're hurtling, just to make sure I got this right. So we're hurtling 57,000 miles an hour around a ball of light while we're spinning also. And then the moon has to go faster than us sometimes because it's spinning around us. How can you explain? You can't explain that to a flat earther. They're not smart enough to figure it out for themselves. Okay. And by the way, again, we were all flat earthers at one point. All right. Because it's the thing that makes the most sense. And and by the way, if somebody says to you, hey, well, if you could, well, then can you explain how like a boat, if it's like way off in the distance, how can you explain how like when it's leaving, like it eventually disappears? Yeah, because I can't fucking see it anymore. Distance, haze, you know what I mean? Like, so it's difficult to explain some of this stuff to people. Well, you could see it fall through. And the reason that they say that is because they think that that's an argument. That's ridiculous. You can't argue with a flat earther because you cannot convince them that the earth is round because it's not probable that you can do that. And here it is. He who shall be named says this: all liquid forms a sphere in a no gravity environment. That is true. But first of all, here's the fundamental problem when you can't have that argument. You can't prove there's gravity. You can prove things go up and down. Well, of course, things go up and down. Here is a flat surface. Here is something that's not flat, and it falls onto it. Because we're standing on a platform and everything comes down to it. That's where, and then you could say, well, what about sky? How come the things are just not falling out of the sky and hitting the earth all the time? And the answer to that would be, well, because that's like a projector. And like they fake that shit. Like NASA's not real, bro. You know what I mean? So you cannot argue with, unless you're a pompous asshole, by the way. Unless you're a scientist who's just looking down, you can't argue it. So anyway, let's talk about this crypto market. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Experts say Sun is Uptober's biggest play as Justin Sun pledges 100% revenue on buyback. So this is absolutely insane what's going on. So Justin Sun has announced a strategic buyback plan for Sun tokens as a move to reignite the token's momentum. In light of this, an expert called it Uptober's biggest play, citing potential bullish growth. Now, the fact that we're having this conversation about this right now means to me that it's going to be muted, which means that when you see something like this, whatever's happened has already happened. So I don't know that TRON is actually going to take off because of this. Like we saw Avalanche take off the other day and have a nice little run. Of course, Aster has had a nice little run. Near Protocol had a pretty good run during the dip in the market, by the way. So TRON did not. And I've told you repeatedly that I think it's going to have a big breakout moment, but It really will come down to Justin Sun. He commits all revenue to Sun buybacks. In a recent X post, Justin Sun announced that every dollar of revenue in the decentralized perpetual exchange sunperp.com profit will be used to buy back and burn Sun tokens. Sometimes tokenomics is actually very simple. The rest of the time, the team should be focused on the product, the lowest trading fees, the best trading experience and liquidity, and the broadest trading support. Sun Perps is only 3 days old, and there's still a lot to do. So what you have is you have a new platform, just like Aster, just like Hyperliquid, and by the way, what you're looking at right now is a paradigm shift. Like, we have to be very, very clear about what this is. Remember, what we're experiencing right now is a shift in the way business is done. Centralized exchanges, they've pivoted. So you may not be listening to it, or you may not be hearing it. We've talked about it before. Coinbase has filed to become a bank. Crypto.com has filed to become a bank. Kraken has filed to become a bank. All of these different companies, they are changing, they're shifting the paradigm in which they operate so that they can provide to you what you need. And remember, going back 2 or 3 years, I told you there's going to be a mergers and acquisition phase, and there's going to be a bank adoption phase. And during these phases, you're going to see some overlap. You're going to see some weird things start to happen. And the most likely outcome is that one day these exchanges are going to become banks, because then they can control what you consume and they're in charge of it. If they don't, Capital One, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all the criminals in the world, they're going to start offering you crypto, and they're only going to give you the cryptos that they want you to have. The banks don't control crypto. That's why this is a problem. So the fact that the centralized exchanges are now getting into the banking industry, and they have a favorable administration that's going to look at it that way and allow these guys to become full-fledged banks. The fact that this is happening right now has changed fundamentally that paradigm shift that I was talking about earlier. So centralized exchanges are still going to be around, but here's what's going on in the meantime. People are starting to understand the importance of decentralized finance. What we want is we want a decentralized finance that allows us to do perpetual futures. SunPerp allows that. What we're looking for is places like Hyperliquid. We're looking for places like Aster. We're looking for places like SunPerp. We're looking for all of these different places to take the place of some of these centralized exchanges as they shift the paradigm on the way that they offer business. By committing 100% of protocol profits to buybacks, the initiatives ensure a continuous reduction of Sun's circulating supply. I would say what we need right now is a bag of Sun. Okay, because that seems like a pretty good idea. This would also help the token generate steady demand from the market. Analysts say this simplified tokenomics model could translate into long-term price strength if execution matches expectation. And we have a reason to believe that this is going to happen. Why are you arguing about whether the earth is flat or not? We tuned in to find out how much money we are going to lose. Dude, do you not understand? Do you not get it, Derek? I mean, are you, if the earth is flat, the money won't fall. It doesn't fall off the earth, which means that we don't lose money. Duh, it's science. Can't believe you don't understand that. It's a simple, it's a basic fundamentals, okay? If you drop a quarter right now, it's going to roll away if you're on a circle. If you drop a quarter right now, and the earth is flat, it's just going to stop right there. So I've proven everything. Birds aren't real. Jesus Christ. Birds are CIA. By the way, birds aren't real. Birds are robots created by the CIA to monitor people. Everybody knows that. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't believe you people. The move echoes similar burn-driven strategies already seen across the TRON ecosystem. Projects such as SunSwap and SunPump have funded token reductions through their own revenue streams. Justin Sun, known for his aggressive growth tactics, has been a consistent advocate, again, for his consistent growth tactics. Okay, now let's take a quick look over here and see what Sun is doing right now. Let's see. I want to use crypto, but we're going to use Binance at least for this one right now. So look at this. Sun was sitting at 2 cents, went up to 4, sitting at around 3 right now. So this is over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So over the last 6 days, we're starting to see this breakout moment. Now, what we need to do is zoom out And check this out. We are now at the or near the all-time high of this move. So the high, by the way, it's like 5.5%. 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 cents per cent. I said percent. God damn, it's 5.5 cents. So 5.5 cents is the top, and we're getting close to that range. I have a feeling that we're about to see a big breakout on Sun. And by the way, look at this. This was a great opportunity. Like, this was a great accumulation opportunity. And look, I was not, by the way, a fan of Justin Sun during this period of time. And I'm still not necessarily a fan of Justin Sun, but this guy has enough money and has made enough money through his relationship with Binance and with his own TRON to really become a billionaire and start to throw his considerable money around into these markets to do manipulations. Now, if you guys remember, not that long ago, he was leading that charge with that James guy from Europe, the trader. They were looking to liquidate these people, or they were looking to find these nameless wallets that are shorting Bitcoin and liquidate them and stuff like that. Like like these guys were going into it, and they were using tons of money in order to do it. So, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, Justin Sun has a private chat that is billionaire only, and they manipulate the charts, just so you guys understand. I don't know that everybody knows that or everybody understands that. I don't know that I'm not going to get, kirked for saying it. But they do have a private chat where the whales, by the way, here's full disclosure. I know a few lower tiered whales in Bitcoin. Okay. 2 of them have been invited into one of these groups, and they declined, or at least they told me they declined. But this is a place where people are going to kind of coordinate how they're going to attack people in the market. So when they see somebody take just a gigantic long position, they start to dump in order to liquidate that person, because that capital then goes into the market. When they see somebody shorting a huge wallet, shorting up at the top, they start to buy Bitcoin in order to attack that person and create this manipulative sense of pump. By the way, when I look at this chart, like, man, I would say that I think Sun's going to 8 cents, by the way. I'm eyeballing it. I'm not really, I have no, I am wildly guessing at this point, but when I look at it, like, I feel like this thing is going to rip to like 8. Like, I feel like that's going to rip to 8 cents. I don't know why, by the way. This doesn't make any sense. At best, what I just did is what I said doesn't make any sense. But, at best, you would say something like this, like, maybe we get to move up to like 6 cents, something like that. But I got a feeling that all of this settling with higher highs that happened over here is kind of more of a symbol of what's getting ready to happen with the market, or what's getting ready to happen with Sun. So I'm going to predict 8.5 cents right here for Sun, probably this month. What's the Sun market cap, by the way? Let's go look at that. 605 million market cap at 3 cents. Okay, so what's the value? Hyperliquid, Aster, top 50. That means 3 to 5 billion market cap. God damn. Okay, so listen, TRON is not as popular as some of these other ones. So I don't think that the market is going to be as high. It's already got 31 billion in one direction. Already got one. So I think that something like Hyperliquid, 16 billion. I don't think so. Aster should be right in here somewhere. Number 37 right now at 3.4 billion. That might be a good shot right there. 5x away is 15 cents. So I could be completely wrong about it, but more likely, it's going to fall somewhere in the 60s right here. It's going to be like 1.5 billion market cap, somewhere around the official Trump, because that would be the synergy, because, Justin Sun holds the biggest bag of World Liberty Financial and the biggest bag of Trump tokens on the planet. So I bet 1.5 billion is going to be that number. That's going to be 3x from where it is, 9 cents. So that's going to be 8, 8.5, 9, in that range. So I think that's what's going to happen. Also, Kobayashi, we've been covering this, and the reason that I do this is because I value their macro information. Not sure. This is micro, so I'm not sure if this is going to be the case here, but from a macro environment, I do like what they say. Crypto adoption is about to surge. A new Bank of America survey shows 75% of investors have zero exposure to crypto. Now, U.S. lawmakers are requesting the SEC implements President Trump's executive order allowing 401ks to buy crypto. What's next? Let us explain. Now, they say below is a letter. Actually, by the way, when I saw the article, I said, well, that's a micro. It is actually a macro. So son of a bitch. Below is a letter that is sent to lawmakers by the SEC this week. Now, by the way, I already knew that this was happening. Okay. And we already saw that this was going on, that they want to do this swiftly. This opens up 10 trillion worth of capital, which is 2.5 times the current market cap of crypto. Now, if 10% of 10 trillion comes in, that's an extra trillion. By the way, just to be very, very clear, we have to be very clear. With $1 trillion coming into this market would not increase market cap by $1 trillion. Okay. It would increase by a multiple. Okay. If we were to just estimate, matter of fact, the best way that I can do this is to, and do it in front of you guys. We're going to go to Grok. Can you estimate the total liquidity in all of cryptocurrency in actual money versus total market cap, and what is the percentage? Now, let's just let Grok cook here for a little while. It's going to take, there could be a quick answer and stuff like that. It's going to tell us that it's tough to gauge and stuff like that. It's going to give me a few paragraphs of this when it's done. Probably going to take, because I do it in deep mode, so it's probably going to take a little while because I wanted to give you the best possible answers. But what we're going to do is we're going to develop a thesis right here based on if 10% of that money comes into the market, which is $1 trillion, what would we be looking at as a market cap in crypto? And then what would that, zooming out, look like? Now, we do know that there are a lot of funds that are captured in meme coins. I mean total absolute shit coins that really don't have a massive future in any way. If we come over here, now we're not going to dunk on some of these newer ones because they need a chance to grow. They need a chance to develop and stuff like that. But if you guys remember one of my old partners a long, long time ago, it was Kishu, right? Let's look at this one. This thing is years old, okay? Had a massive run up a long, long time ago when it launched, 2021. All right, so where is it right now? 6 million is the market cap. Now, it actually had reversed at one point from 30 million, bounced up to 60 million, had a nice little breakout. However, you look at it from this, it's just, it had 2 billion market cap. Then it ran up to 1 billion market cap. Then it's just kind of flatlined from there. Interest just not there, right? However, how much money is sitting here? $964,000, okay? The people that hold this coin total $1 million worth of capital. They are wrecked. That's absolute insanity. And by the way, that's just one of them. What were some of the other ones? Sandshoe. Okay, Sandshoe's dead. Okay, so there we go. That Sandshoe is dead. But as you go around, what was the other one that we were talking about? Mononoke? Is that the one? Now, did it rug? I think that was the one that everybody said, oh my God, it's going to go absolutely bonker nanners, blah, 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 blah. Here it is. Okay, it has $200,000. There's money trapped in this market, okay? There's money trapped everywhere in this market. So there's going to be some serious dilution when it comes down to it. Okay, so this is going to be an estimate, okay? Estimating the total liquidity in actual money is not straightforward as it isn't single track metric. We know that, right? A common proxy for this is the total market capitalization of stablecoin, which is pegged to fiat currencies. And we're currently saying that this, based on current data, somewhere between 298 billion. Other sources put it in the 290 billion to 300 billion range. This liquidity estimate does not include additional factors like fiat reserves held directly on centralized exchanges, which are not public, aggregated, but are likely small or the value locked in DeFi protocols, currently around 160 or 170 billion. Much of that overlaps stablecoin. So we're going to go with 300 billion. Let's just say we have 300 billion in total money in this market. And what is our market cap right now? Our market cap right now is 3.91 trillion. So we're talking about a 12-to-1 ratio. So if we added $1 trillion into this market, we're talking about a 12x. We're talking about adding $12 trillion to an almost $4 trillion market cap, meaning $16 trillion could be poised to enter into this. That's an insane amount of money. So the fact that that potentially could happen is bonkers. All right. That is a ton of capital that could be coming in short interval here. What happened to Cryptonomy? We have no update. I don't know. Cryptonomy told me that, by the way, I've dealt with a lot of people who've had trouble getting their money off. I did have trouble with my last time getting money off. I'm still waiting for some money on an exit from Cryptonomy. I'm just not dunking on them at this point, but I don't know. They said that, well, we're going to pause this before because they were making some changes, and they had the Mubarak group, I think it was, come in as a financier to try to, fix what they had, which was a problem, which I explained the problem before. But after that, they were like, yeah, we're just not seeing results. We're not getting enough money. And I said, okay, fine. And I left their chat, and I've not had a conversation with them since then. I've not had a conversation with them at all. Now, I've had somebody reach out to me the other day who asked me about it. I don't know how far back that goes, and probably they don't want to be public anyway. But I don't, I don't know exactly what's going on over there. You know what? As a matter of fact, Cryptonomy. Here we go. I did see this right here on January 29. Cryptonomy Finance was being investigated in the UK. Cryptonomy Finance overview. This film may be providing personal financial service product without our permission. That one was. Then we have customer reviews over here on Trustpilot, which gave it a 3-star. Then you have on Facebook a 4-star. I don't know how this happens, but that's not the one. There's actually Cryptonomy Washington. There we go. February 3rd, Washington State Department of Financial Institutions has received a complaint regarding Cryptonomy, and they were being investigated. So that's what I was looking for right there. And we have Open PR right now that also says the same thing, that they've lost their funds with them. So there is some investigations going on right now. That's all that I know, and it's just public record. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, so Kobayashi says that this 10 trillion market would open up. On August 7, Trump signed the below executive order democratizing access to alternative assets for 401k investors. This takes the total current market cap of crypto at a record 4 trillion. This is still 6 trillion less than the total amounts of assets in 401k. Even if just 2% went in, this would spur a major bull market and send Bitcoin to 200,000. Now, I'm talking about 10%. They're talking about 2%. That 2% would be 200 billion. 200 billion coming into the market times 12x would be 1.4 trillion. Adding 1.4 trillion would put us close to what I told you guys the market cap was going to be 3 years ago, by the way, which was in the 5.5 to 6 trillion range. That would be phenomenal. If I had picked this, if I'm ever that right 3 or 4 years ago on the way that it's going to work, that would be absolute insanity, by the way. Here's what's even more shocking. The average professional fund manager allocation towards crypto is 0.3%. This is referring to professional investors who are generally more educated on crypto than others. Mainstream crypto adoption is even lower right now. Many institutional investors were actually short crypto in this recent bull market. Heading into July, net leverage shorts on Ethereum hit a record high per zero hedge. In fact, net short exposure was 25% above levels seen in February of 2025. That has rapidly changed. Look at this. This is what they're saying is this is rapidly diminishing very quickly. Also, take a look at the recently conducted Gallup poll. Just 14% of adults in the US own Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. Now, remember, for the crypto bros, the lock the fuck in, bros, because we're going up. It's up only from here. And they've been telling you that for months and months and months and months to engagement farm you, right? But they're like, over 50% of America owns Bitcoin, bro. No, it's not. 14% own cryptocurrency. Less than 5% of Americans even have any material exposure to crypto at all. Ta-da. This executive order will change that. Heading into 2025, the number of U.S. millionaire 401k accounts surged. The number with balances jumped to a record 544,000. So 544,000 people are now millionaires with their 401ks. This was up from 349,000 in 2023. So thanks, Joe Biden. Jesus Christ. God damn, man. Look, when we talk about whether like Joe Biden, don't like him, if you are part of the uniparty, if you're a part of the rich class, it doesn't matter who they are taking care of that ass. Now, in the Trump administration, it's likely nearing 600,000 at this point. By the way, it doesn't matter who's in charge. It's going to continue. The money is the money. So on top of this, the Fed is adding fuel to the fire, marked the first Fed rate cut. The labor market is simply too weak, even as inflation has risen. Bitcoin and gold have known this for months now. And as we look ahead, we believe that the theme driving crypto higher will result in major macroeconomic shifts. This is redefining the way the markets are moving. So I guess this is Kobayashi telling you to lock in, bros, because we're about to go up only. And by the way, I've done some changes to my charts. You're going to see them in just a minute, and you'll see that I did a little bit freer in the way I'm moving stuff around. Bull market peak indicators back to 0 because the fear and greed index or the altcoin season index has now kicked down to 67. I told you it was a fake out, you dum-dums. I didn't really. Some of us did. I mean, but I said the logical scenario here is that it cannot be. And what reason did I give you? Duh, because Bitcoin had not exploded yet. We need to see Bitcoin. Bitcoin is what drives everything in this market. And Bitcoin did not explode. Bitcoin just kind of dumped a little bit or let me rephrase that. It didn't feel like an explosion. Okay. It just felt like an upward momentum. It just felt like Bitcoin was just going higher and higher and higher and higher, but it was not a frenzy. It was not a frenzy. It was not some insane moment where you're like, oh my God, it's really happening. It was not that. So what we need to see is that. And we need to see that at least one more time while altcoins are pumping. And guess what? Altcoins are pumping, but we haven't seen Bitcoin make that move. So Bitcoin makes the move. Altcoins are going to go absolutely nanners. And channel or using terracasino.io or terraport.finance. Now, meme linked, by the way, I'm a holder of meme linked. I don't know what's going on over here, but Pablo has launched a new coin again, and it's called Crow Show. I will explain the plan. We built technology for meme link quietly. We build the biggest talk show in Pump Fund to invite celebrities and influencers called the Crow Show. Tap into millions and millions of normies to pump our entire ecosystem. So the idea that he has for this is to make a new token, and that new token is going to be something that wink, wink, nod, nod gets people into the meme linked ecosystem. And if that happens, then, I don't know. I'm not going to move away from anything until I see altcoin season actually begin, until I believe that we actually are having an altcoin season. So I'm not going to make a move until that happens. Build your ecosystem. I don't know if you need that many tokens, but it's not my project. So I don't know. I have no idea. And, it's not on me. Jay Manuel says, I got in Acceler instead. I got a new video coming out on Acceler in a couple days. I'm in on Acceler too. As a matter of fact, I told you guys yesterday, I was considering selling my Definity bag to get into Acceler. I haven't done that. I haven't done that yet. I might I'm gonna do another video with Exceller, and I might just use that money and just buy a big bag of it and see what happens. All right. Now, I am told that, and I keep getting informed that the Devi website could be updated today. That there were something like 20 minor issues. How are there 20 minor issues, by the way? Like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you telling me that? You know what I mean? Like, it's been quiet all this time, and now all of a sudden, like, now we're counting. You know, I don't know. Anyway, Devi official announcements right here. Oh, it's not that. All right, so let me go to their official announcement channel real quick. Let me see if there's anything. I don't think I've seen an official announcement or anything like that. Yeah, it's not. It's very good. Just kidding. The new site is very good. Okay, somebody's opinion right now. New site is very good, guys. Ideal for the stage of project and above expectations. It will definitely help build trust, showcase the project well in a suitable way for target partners and traders. Huge sentiment shift and helps to make everything tangible as hoped. Great job from the team and the guys over at them. So, you know, by the way, that's not going to move the chart. Like, nobody gives a shit about an exchange, about a new website, but that could be an opportunity to onboard new people, something like that. Okay, here we go. You may have already seen that our two new websites are now live, dev.com and dev.exchange. So there it is. Okay, so this is the new website. Here we go. We're quite proud of the new aesthetic. Ooh, I actually like the shit out of this one. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll look at this at a later time. I'm good with this. Yeah, this is actually pretty nice. This is pretty, yeah. I mean, look, it's nothing special. It's not going to pump the chart, but I like this. So I'm going to look into this. And then the other one was Dev Exchange. Remember, it looked kind of basic. Oh, you know what? I don't dislike this at all either. By the way, I like the fact that it's using blue, because blue is the same as Coinbase. It's the same as crypto.com. You know what I mean? Like, so it would fit in to some kind of narrative, in my opinion. Okay. All right. That was that right there, that little spot right there doesn't roll very well. That might be an issue right there. They did say that there were a few different things that were still being kind of ironed out. This is not public. I don't think so. It says, we're quite proud of the new aesthetic and believe this web presence strongly reflects. Oh, never mind. They are. Yeah. There's still more to come. We're building out full developer documentation, new pages of upcoming products, new blogs and user guides, and much more. Thank you for your continued support and feedback. So we see now that there is a buildup. The transition to some new stuff has happened for Devi. So wishing them luck. Remember, this is still my biggest bag. That's still the one that I think is going to matter the absolute most to me. All right. Still can't do super chats with you. I don't know why. I really don't know. You know, if it was 80% and it really wasn't, how can you trust that indicator? Shit, Derek, I forgot what we were talking about. I should stop getting high before the show. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't do that. That's gross. You know, I'm not a hippie. So, what were we talking about with the 80%? Let me know, and then we'll go back to it. APX up 45% today. APX having an absolute breakout here, up 27 spaces. And then Aster still continues to impress. By the way, a lot of people are predicting Aster to go to $2. And guess what? It went to $2, right? Now everybody's talking about it's going to $10. I don't know that to be the case. I think that's really kind of reached the apex. I could be wrong, okay? But I think this was that final surge before we start to see just a radical sort of dump. By the way, I think and I think this dump is not going to be sustained. It probably will go higher. We're probably looking at it going a lot higher. We're going to see some more integration with Binance. We're going to see a lot more with CZ. We're going to see a lot more of this happening. And by the way, this is one of those pumps, like I said before, this is one of those life-changing pumps that happened in the course of 2 or 3 weeks. Just is exactly what I think Devi is going to do. Okay. By the way, I'm going to show you guys something. God damn it, I can't, because I'm going to get demonetized if I do it. Son of a bitch. Somebody tip me $100. We're going to do this. All right. All right. Where the fuck did it go? That's gay. Oh, you know what? We'll have to go back to it with Devi, but there are 2 videos from Ray Quintana, he's the chairman for, or CEO, Ray Quintana. He confirms that Devi is integrated with a major stock exchange in public where you can hear him. Then you have another one, and it's a video of Tom Anderson talking about how Devi is plugged in to the developer for TradFi exchanges and how they have merged all of their stuff in with these guys, and that you're just not going to believe what happens. And this was interviews that were done that just kind of slipped by the radar, but they're being, rebroadcast, brought back around from people who are now looking at it saying, oh shit, like we really should, people are going to start paying attention to Devi. I'll put it that way. All right. People are going to start paying attention to Devi. So if you, like me, have held on for all this time and you've been waiting for, just the craziest of moments to happen or something like that, look, I'm not a psychic. I can't predict the future. I can pretend like I'm always right. You know that I'm not. But, oh, by the way, I can hold that ball right there. Ha, 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 ha. But I think that I'm right on this one, okay? I think that where's that? I wish I could spin it. You know what I mean? I wish I could spin it. Just tickle Aster here a little bit. Tickling that Aster. So I think something big is on the horizon for Devi, and then I think it's going to just blow up into the top 100. Okay, I really think that that's what's getting ready to happen. The pieces that we just got, those are just the little starts. Those are just the little, laying the groundwork for whatever comes next. I don't know what comes next, but I know that, in my opinion, it's going to absolutely break out. AIC up 92% on the day, BARD up 70. This is what I mean by, like, we're still in an altcoin season. Like, you really kind of zoom out a little bit and start to look, then you're getting Hemi up 100% on the day. Centrifuge up 16% on the day. You're just seeing it everywhere. Bless up 142%. Troll up 27%. Now I have no internet connection. What the absolute fuck is happening here? But Ket is up 25%. I might be losing connection, by the way. So if we lose, then that'll just be a wrap on the day, because I'm not getting. It doesn't look like it's populating very well. But you get my point here. We got a nice little move happening right now in the market. Fear and greed index dropped down into 43. We're still not. I still like to see 30. Ethereum is at 40 right now. We might even throw that in there, but I just like the crypto one more than anything else. Also, capital outflow on all ETFs yesterday. This was a big outflow, 363 million. And then on the, God damn it, Ethereum ETF, we also had a big $76 million outflow. But I like what we're seeing here. We're still up about $14 billion. Remember, it's not that long ago we were talking about all this kind of stuff, and now it's starting to play out. So where's the market? Let's do this real quick. Market has been just kind of ranging here. By the way, if you look at it from, let's say 30 minutes right here, look at this. For the last 4 hours, this has been just tightening and tightening and tightening. This is what you want in a Bollinger Band that's going to tell you that something is about to happen. So when you look at this on a half-hour Bollinger Band, you're going to see a real tightening right here. Something is about to happen in this market, okay? We got this really tight little play right here, broke to the downside. We got this really tight little play right now on this upside. I'm not sure that means anything. It doesn't really, it doesn't really matter. You never know which direction it's going to break, but this is getting real tight right now. There's a real fight going on. And when that happens, massive move to the downside right here. But also when that happens, massive move to the upside over here. So I'm not sure which direction it's going to go. I would like to say that it's probably going to go upwards. And the reason for that, Dow Jones up 220 points on the day. Money is still flowing into risk assets. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, but what about crypto, bro? It's like it's not, moving. Well, the end result here is this. Bitcoin has to surge. If Bitcoin surges, then we're going to have a massive altcoin season. This is the grail right here. This is what you want. Bitcoin has to rip. We need to see Bitcoin dominance on the up. Okay, we've seen it move back into, remember, it broke down out of the channel. This is the 30 minutes again. Broke down out of the channel, came back into the channel. Let's look at it on the daily. And on the daily, you can see it's starting to spike. This is the next big move. This is the next big paradigm shift for Bitcoin. Now, the question is, how long will it last? The last time we got to the bottom, from the bottom to the top, 63 bars. Okay, so that's a little bit too long because October is coming. So let's move over here and let's look at how long it took for this one. 25 bars. That makes more sense. So it looks like to me, we're going to get a crazy move coming up real soon. Now, in line with that, here is my liquidity right there. Still going up, by the way, still going up. We're not going down. So, and by the way, again, we zoom out a little bit and this thing looks like we're just predicting this thing absolutely perfectly at this point. We got another big move coming on these charts. Like that money is still there. It's still flowing into the markets. So, we'll see what happens here. But I do think that based on what we're watching right now, that we'll see some more altcoin strength. We're going to see altcoin strength. The reason that we're going to see that, by the way, let's be very clear about what's going on. People are finding RWAs. People are finding depends. People are finding new AIs. They're finding new tokens, new coins, new paradigm shifts in the way that we transact. Hyperliquid was a massive one. Aster is coming along as another massive one. There are a few of them that are going to break out on their launch or when they get discovered. TRON, again, looks like it's ready for a breakout. Justin Sun ready to throw money into his ecosystem again. Avalanche, I keep telling you that Avalanche looks like it's on the verge of a breakout. Look at Avalanche on the verge of that breakout. Let's remove money supply. But look at this. I mean, just having a crazy move on Avalanche for the last little while. Those are the kind of things that we're looking for. Those are the kind of moments where you really get that breakout. But again, this has to be funded by Bitcoin. This has to be funded. We need the crypto bros to get rich off of Bitcoin so that they start to cascade their money down here because we need retail. And retail is probably predominantly right now in Bitcoin. So that happens. We're going to be looking really good. Dow Jones is surging, by the way. It's up 230 points now. So going down the list here, Ethereum broke down our entry position right here at 42.99 all the way down to 40.52. Didn't come down to where I said it could probably come down to 39, maybe even at the bottom of that range at 35. So we could be looking at a reversal. To me, bull trap. That's what this looks like to me. This looks like a bull trap, trying to get everybody settled, trying to get everybody in a position so that they can then go attack and liquidate the shit out of people. All right. If I look at, boom, I don't know why I took this son of a bitch off, by the way, because I have no idea why I did that. But let's do a 2-week number here. There you go. The liquidations have continued, wiped out everything over the last, that's going to be like 2-3 days. So wiped out all of those longs. Now what's happening? Now we're placing our bets again. Where are we placing our bets? Well, our bets are placed right here at 114. Our bets are placed down here. So the question at this point is, are we going to surge up into this right here, which is 118 to 119,000, or are we going to dump down a little bit further? The easiest way is to dump down a little bit further. So I would suspect that that's probably what we're going to see. We're going to see some more downward momentum, which is why I say, to me, it feels kind of like a trap. Now, if I'm just eyeballing where I'm at right now, 109,000 to me. Now, you can make the argument, let me zoom this up just a little bit. You can make the argument looking at this that 105,000 is the end goal. because what you see is you see that dagger wick coming down into 105,000, just kind of a cleansing fire, if you will, to liquidate all of these long positions, get that money liquidated, and then boom, then you stop selling. Then you buy in that range, and then you run back up here and you pull this liquidity, which is sitting at 118, 119,000. This is the most attractive money right there. So ultimately, it's going to be upward momentum. Now, moving out to a longer time frame on the 6 month, it's not going to be as yellow, by the way, but you will see a pocket, and that pocket right there, 106,700 with a a dagger wick all the way down to about 104 possible. Okay, that's potential and possible. Still a lot of liquidity up here. I don't know if we can make it down to this range. We could maybe, but otherwise 125 is where the next big pocket is, and that's going to be an all-time high. So that's what you're looking at. That's what you're seeing right now. So anyway, Ethereum had its little dip. Look at that. We called this one almost perfectly. Solana's entry is coming in exactly where we called. Again, I think we were a little bit aggressive, probably a little bit aggressive, and we're down slightly on this right now. Could get liquidated, but I don't think so. Also, XRP, I gave you 270. Guess what? Boom, perfect. Absolutely perfect play out. And by the way, look at this. You're already up, was it 15 cents? So you're already up 8% on your bag. Again, 5x leverage, that's 40. You're up 40%. Take your profit. Make your money. Link did exactly what we expected it to do, and it's reversed. SWE, this is why, again, SWE is a very positive one. So that's why we gave it this level versus coming all the way down here, but even that didn't get hit. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Cardano, again, stable coins, we're going to go down to 73 cents on that one. Avalanche up, and by the way, Avalanche is surging at 4.5% right now. Near Protocol still surging, not as high as it was over there at 333, but still on the positive move for the day. HBAR kind of dead on the day, didn't reach our level. Did Near reach our level? We didn't give it a level. All right, whatever. And Avalanche didn't reach our level, so we didn't enter anything new on that one. Sonic, I think it's going to break. And we're going to probably be testing this all-time high up here, or not all-time high, but 62 cents, 63 cents sometime in October. I think that's going to happen. Arrow taking a break right now. Again, there's too many different things here telling me that, there's too many pieces to this puzzle that are telling me that we're just kind of at the heart line and we haven't broken down enough, that, we might have one of those breakdowns. Pendle, same thing, just kind of getting close, but didn't exactly get there. I'm not saying I'm wrong about this, by the way. I'm not saying I'm wrong about this, but didn't like that. Bought more because OM dipped as hard as it did yesterday. Went down, I want to say like 15, 16%. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to DCA. So my DCA is now 31 cents. So remember it was 34 cents the other day. So it's down to 31 cents right now because I just couldn't resist and had to buy more. So I'm going to hold on to that. Also, API 3, I bought a little more of that because it was, again, the same thing. This is where I thought the bounce was going to happen. Now it's turning into resistance right here, but I suspect we're going to see a nice little move again. We're going to see a nice little test like we saw here in the middle of August. Another big run up to about $2 or $3. I think we're going to see that happen pretty quickly. Definity up 3% on the day. VeChain down 0.5%. VeChain not really recovering as well as some of those other ones, but still having a recovery. Conflux down 1.5%. That Volt that I keep talking to you guys about, man, I'm not seeing it. They had a big launch yesterday. They had some kind of big, something or other. Didn't move the chart at all. So I don't know, what that says, but we'll see. Fed Chair Powell's speech is on the 23rd. Existing home sales on the September 25th tip, and personal income month over month is going to be on the 26th. So we've got core PCE price. All right, so we're going to see some data coming out over the next couple of days. That's it. That's the show. All right, guys, that's my time. I'm going to go get that swole on, if you will. By the way, for those of you that are wondering, right now I'm on Pinailon, which is a which is a peptide for the pineal gland. I want to say like it's, powerhouse, mitochondria, repairing blood cells, that kind of bullshit. I'm on that for 30 days. I'm on ipamorelin, which is a growth hormone, for 30 days. And I'm on BPC 157, and I'm overdosing on BPC 157. I'm taking twice the normal recommended dose. Normal recommended dose is 300 micrograms per day. I'm doing 600 micrograms per day for the next month, and we'll see how that goes. So there we go. That's what I'm doing. That's what's happening. Now I'm going to go work out. You guys have a good day. It's not financial advice, but I'm
looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world. I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.